My stepchildren said I needed their father's permission to set rules, so I gave him the rules instead. Itemized bills, overdue fees, and transfer of responsibility forms. He wasn't ready. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Reddit Visuals. You know, I used to think the ugliest divorces happened in courtrooms. Turns out the real damage gets done in kids' heads, quietly, one poison sentence at a time. So hi. I'm a 42-year-old guy. And for the last 7 years, I've been what you'd call a stepfather. I'm married to Emma. She's 39. She has 2 kids from her first marriage. Josh, who is 15 now, and Lily, who is 13th. Their biological father, Mark, is 41 and technically alive, but I'd describe his parenting style as themed appearances. He's amazing at birthday parties, random sneaker shopping sprees, last-minute amusement park trips, and disappearing when the bill shows up. When I met Emma, the kids were young. Josh was 8, Lily was 6. She was exhausted, working full-time, doing almost everything alone, while Mark floated in and out like a guest star on a show he used to star in. I didn't walk in thinking I'm gonna be dad now. I just wanted to be good to this woman I liked and not be another storm in their lives. So I eased in, helped with homework, made pancakes on Saturdays, fixed bikes, sat in the stands at soccer games, clapped at school concerts, the whole cliché. I wasn't trying to replace anybody, but kids don't care about titles. They care about who shows up. What I didn't know back then was that Mark did care about titles. Careful, fragile ego kind of care. He wanted to be dad in all caps without doing the boring, un-Instagrammable parts of being a father. And he really didn't want anyone else to look like the stable male figure in his old family. At first, it was small stuff. The kids would come home from a weekend at his place and say things like, "Dad says you must be rich if you can afford this house," or "Dad thinks it's weird you cook so much. Most men don't." It was annoying, but kids repeat what they hear. I brushed it off. I was paying half the mortgage, half the utilities, buying groceries, chipping in for sports fees, school trips, normal things you do when you share a life. Emma and I kept our finances mostly separate, but we had a system. The point is, I was invested, emotionally and financially. Fast forward a few years, and the kids are teenagers now, which means hormones, opinions, and phones glued to their hands. We had house rules: no phones at the dinner table, homework before video games, and curfew on school nights. Nothing extreme, just basic structure. One Thursday night, I'm making dinner, chicken, roasted vegetables, the usual, and Josh sits down with his AirPods in, scrolling. Lily is doing that thing where she's half listening, eyes on TikTok, fork in hand. I say, "Guys, phones away at the table. You know the rule." Josh doesn't even look up. He mumbles, "You can't tell us what to do without talking to Dad first." I actually laugh because it's so out of nowhere. "What?" He takes one AirPod out, finally looks at me, and repeats, louder, "I said you can't make new rules without asking our real dad. Mom said you're not allowed to overstep." Lily nods like this is just a fact. "Yeah, Dad said you're just Mom's husband. He's the only one who can set rules for us." There's this moment where the room goes quiet, like even the fridge hum shuts up. My brain tries to process those words, and then the anger hits in a flash of heat, sharp and bright. But on the outside, I stay very still. "Phone's down," I say again, voice low. "We're not doing this right now. Eat your food." Josh rolls his eyes. "We don't have to listen to you. You're not our real dad. Dad said you only get to talk to us about rules if he agrees first." Emma, to her credit, doesn't stay quiet. She puts her fork down, looks at both of them, and says, "I never said that. Your father does not run this house." Lily shoots back. "Well, that's not what he told us. He said you're letting your new husband control us and that it's not okay." There it was. Not subtle, not a misunderstanding. A direct line from Mark's mouth to my dinner table. I look at Emma, and I can see her face go pale with this mix of embarrassment and fury. She says, slowly, "We'll talk about this after dinner." The rest of the meal is silent, the kind of silence where nobody actually tastes the food. Later that night, after the kids stomp off to their rooms, we sit at the dining table again. Same chairs, totally different temperature. "I never said that," she says first, like she's defending herself in a trial I haven't even started. "I know," I tell her, because I do. "He did." She nods, eyes wet now, and then pulls out her phone and scrolls. "You need to see this." She shows me a text thread. Apparently, Josh had accidentally screenshotted a group chat with his dad and sent it to her last week, thinking he was sending something else. In the screenshot, Mark had written, "You don't owe that guy anything. He can't boss you around. If he tries, tell him your father has to approve first. He's not your real dad and never will be." Underneath, Josh had replied with a laughing emoji. Lily. "LOL, okay, Dad." I just stare at it. I shouldn't be surprised, but somehow, I still am. He put it in writing. "I found this 3 days ago," she whispers. "I was trying to figure out how to handle it. I didn't think it would explode this fast." I sit back in my chair, slowly, and something in my head shifts. You know that feeling when a picture suddenly comes into focus, and all the weird little things you ignored make sense? The comments, the eye rolls, the subtle distance of the last few months. He wasn't just being immature. He was recruiting. "I'm so sorry, James," she says, and there's this raw sincerity in it. I didn't stand up to him early enough. I thought he would calm down. I thought if I ignored him, he'd stop. "He won't," I say. "He's winning." And there, in that moment, I realized something ugly and simple. I have been financing, feeding, and chauffeuring the same kids this man is teaching to disrespect me. I'm basically paying for my own humiliation. That night, while Emma sleeps, I sit at my laptop and open a spreadsheet. I don't rage text Mark. I don't slam doors. I do something that scares people like him way more. I do math. I pull up my bank statements for the last 7 years. I filter for anything with Emma's address, the kids' names, their school, their sports programs, and their doctors. I divide by half where it's fair, more where I know Emma couldn't cover it at the time. I list everything. Half the mortgage since I moved in, utilities, groceries, club soccer fees, dance recitals, brace deposits, new laptops for school, Disney trip, even the stupid limited edition sneakers Mark bragged about posting on Instagram that I actually paid the bill for. It takes hours. I'm not doing it to get the money back. I know that's gone. I'm doing it because I want to see it. I want to look at the number and remind myself I wasn't just some guy passing through their lives. When I'm done, there are multiple tabs, one labeled Past Expenses, My Contribution, another Ongoing Monthly Costs, and a third, Optional Contributions Going Forward. Under that last one I type, this column can go to 0. The next day, I call a family law attorney, not because I want to sue their dad into oblivion, but because I want to understand exactly where my responsibilities start and end, what I can stop, what I can change, and how to do it without setting Emma on fire in the crossfire. The attorney listens, then says, "You've been very generous. Legally, you don't owe those kids anything. That's between their parents. But you've also been very convenient. Their father has no reason to step up if you keep paying his share." "So I stop?" I ask. "You stop," she says. "Cleanly, clearly, in writing." An idea clicks into place. It feels petty and grown up at the same time. Not revenge, yell on the phone petty. Something colder, something educational. If my authority in the house, according to them, requires their father's permission, then fine. I'll give their father the authority he's been pretending to have. Every last expensive, daily, exhausting piece of it. A week later, I ask Emma and the kids if we can have a family meeting on Saturday afternoon. I make my voice neutral, casual, like we're going to talk about vacation plans or chore charts. Emma gives me a look, but we've already talked. A lot. She knows what's coming in principle, if not in detail. Oh, and tell your dad he should be there too, I add to Josh and Lily. This affects him. Josh's eyes light up. Are you going to apologize? He asks, openly hopeful. In a way, I say. I'm going to make sure everything is clear from now on. They text him. Apparently, he's thrilled. Of course he is. The big bad stepdad is finally being brought to heel in front of his audience. Saturday comes. Emma suggests we meet at a coffee shop nearby, neutral territory, less tension. I agree. It's a small place, quiet on weekends, with a back corner that's semi-private. We get there first. Emma sits beside me at the table. The kids arrive with Mark about 10 minutes later. He's wearing sunglasses inside, which is exactly the kind of move I expected. He drops into the chair across from me like he's about to negotiate a business deal he's already won. So, what's this about? He asks, not even greeting Emma. The kid said you had something important to say. I slide the thick manila folder onto the table between us. Inside are printed spreadsheets, itemized bills, and a stack of documents the lawyer helped me draft. I do, I say. But you first. He smirks. Me? Yeah. Apparently I need your permission to set rules in the house I help pay for. For the kids I drive, feed, and take care of. So I figure that makes you the chief parent officer, right? The final authority. Josh shifts uncomfortably. Lily fidgets with her sleeve. Emma says nothing, but her jaw tightens. Mark leans back, arms crossing. Well, yeah. I'm their father. That's what I've been saying. Glad you're finally getting it. Great, I say. Then you'll appreciate a full breakdown of your responsibilities as the primary decision maker. He frowns. What? I open the folder and pull out the first sheet. It's titled, Financial Contribution Summary, 7 Years. 2 columns. Mine is full. His is sparse. I've itemized the past 7 years of expenses related to your children, I tell him, sliding the sheet across. This isn't a bill. I'm not asking you to pay me back. It's to establish a pattern. I've been acting as a co-parent financially and practically, while you've been playing guest star. He glances at the page, scoffs, and pushes it aside. I didn't ask you to do any of that. I know, I reply. That's the problem. You also didn't offer. I pull out the next stack. These are the current monthly costs. Food, housing contribution, utilities portion, car insurance, phone plans, extracurriculars, and medical co-pays. All the boring stuff that makes teenage life possible. I slide a second sheet toward him, this one titled, Notification of Financial Responsibility Transfer. Since you want to be the one whose authority we all recognize, I say, keeping my voice calm, I think it's only fair you also take on the responsibility that comes with it. As of next month, I am withdrawing from all non-essential financial responsibilities for Josh and Lily. That means no more paying for their car insurance, their phones, their sports, their trips, their extras. Those will be between you and Emma unless you two decide otherwise. Josh's head snaps up. What? Lily looks at her mom, then at me, eyes wide. What do you mean, no phones? Emma finally speaks. Her voice is steady. He means your father, and I will be paying for what we can. James won't be covering what your father should have been covering all along. Mark laughs, a little too loud. A couple at a nearby table glances over. You can't just decide that. We had a system. No, Emma says quietly. We had you not paying, and James quietly doing it so the kids wouldn't suffer. That's over. I hand Mark another document. This one outlines the standard child support calculation based on your income and custody split. My attorney helped me put it together. It also includes information on how to petition for a custody modification if you'd like more say in their lives. You've been complaining about being shut out, right? Here's your chance to step up. More weekends, more weekdays, more responsibility. All you have to do is file. His face reddens. You went to a lawyer! I did, I say, because I'm done being the unpaid backup parent in your family drama. You told these kids I need your permission to parent, so here it is. Either you accept full co-responsibility, financially and practically, or you step back and stop undermining me in the house where I actually live. Josh is staring at the pages, panic dawning. Dad, you're not really going to make us move more, right? You said we could stay mostly at Mom's, Lily whispers. You said James doesn't really do anything, that he just wants to boss us around. Emma turns to them then, and I see something in her that I fell in love with years ago. Steel. Your father has been lying to you, she says, voice breaking only a little. James has carried this house on his back for years. I let that happen. I let the lines blur because it was easier than fighting. That stops today. In this house, James has as much right as I do to set rules. If you don't like that, the alternative is that your father takes on full responsibility for you. Financially, logistically, emotionally. All in, Mark sputters. What, so you're using the kids as leverage? No, I say. I'm giving you exactly what you've been demanding in group chats and whispered phone calls. Respect, authority, and the invoice that comes with it. He shoves the papers back across the table. I'm not signing anything. You can't force me to. You're right, I say. But the state can enforce what you're already legally obligated to pay. And they tend to take a dim view of parents who encourage children to disrespect the people actually raising them while they dodge their own responsibilities. His eyes flick to Emma. You wouldn't actually take me to court over this. She looks him dead in the face. Try me. I already have the appointment scheduled for next week. You could feel the air shift in that corner of the coffee shop. For the first time, Mark looked genuinely off balance. The kids looked stunned, not because I had done something evil, but because suddenly, adults were talking openly in front of them about money and responsibility. And you'd be amazed how fast teenagers figure out who's been lying when the money conversation starts. Mark tries one more angle, his voice dropping to something that's supposed to sound reasonable. This is going to mess the kids up. You're punishing them because your feelings are hurt. I look at Josh and Lily, not him. I'm not punishing you. I'm showing you the truth. I love you both. I've shown up for you for 7 years. I want to keep being in your lives. But I won't do it while being treated like a wallet with no voice. Respect is not optional. You can't tell someone they have no authority and then demand they keep funding your life. Nobody speaks. Mark's face is red. The kids look like they've been dunked in cold water. Finally, Emma stands, picking up her purse. Meeting's over. Mark, you can take the papers or not. But understand this. In my home, you don't get to weaponize our children against my husband. I won't stand for it anymore. Mark leaves the folder on the table and walks out. The kids trail after him to the parking lot, looking back at us like they're not sure which side of the line they're supposed to be on. Emma and I sit there for another few minutes in silence. Then she reaches across the table and takes my hand. Thank you, she says quietly. For what? For not leaving, she says. A lot of men would have just walked away. I squeeze her hand. I'm not a lot of men. The next few weeks are rough. I won't pretend they weren't. I canceled the auto debits on the kids' phone plans. I moved their car insurance to a separate policy with their mother as the primary. I stopped paying for club soccer and dance. We keep food, lights, and a roof. That's non-negotiable, but the extras, those are now up to their parents. The first time Lily's phone gets cut off, she comes storming into the kitchen. What did you do? My phone's not working. I stopped paying for it, I say simply. Your mom can add you to her plan, or your father can add you to his if he wants. That's not fair, she snaps. All my friends have phones. Then talk to your parents about it, I reply. The ones you said get to make the rules. She storms off. I hear her bedroom door slam, then the faint sound of her trying to call someone from the landline. Josh loses access to his online gaming account when the subscription lapses. He comes to me, surprisingly calm. Can you renew my PlayStation Plus? No, I say. Why not? Because you told me I don't get to make decisions about your life without your father's approval. So go ask him. He stands there, processing, then walks away without another word. Over the next month, reality shows up in ways no lecture ever could. Mark doesn't add them to his phone plan. Too expensive right now, he texts in the family group chat. He doesn't offer to cover soccer or dance. They can just do school sports. Why waste money on club teams? He doesn't offer gas money for Josh's rides to school. He doesn't volunteer to take Lily to early morning practices. He has a million reasons. He always does. Meanwhile, in our house, Emma and I hold the line. We enforce the same rules as before. Phones when they have them, out of the dining room, homework before games, and curfew. We don't raise our voices more. If anything, we raise them less. It's all matter of fact now. At first, the kids rebel. They spend more weekends at their dad's, lured by promises of no rules and you can stay up as late as you want here. But no rules turns out to look a lot like no groceries unless his girlfriend remembered to shop. No rides unless it's convenient. No clean laundry because, surprise, he doesn't magically have more time or money than he had when he was skipping their events. One Sunday night, Josh comes home from Mark's looking exhausted. Not fun tired. Defeated tired. He drops his duffel bag in the hallway, comes into the kitchen, and just stands there while I'm putting dishes away. "What's for dinner?" he asks quietly. "Leftover lasagna," I say. "Want me to heat some up?" He nods. While the microwave hums, he sits at the counter, picking at a napkin. "Dad didn't have any food," he says suddenly, like he had beer and some old pizza. "We ordered Uber Eats, but he said I had to pay half because he's not made of money." I don't say anything. I just slid the plate in front of him. "He also didn't wake up yesterday," Josh continues. "So we missed Lily's dance rehearsal. She cried the whole way home because it was the one where they picked solo parts." I hand him a fork. "That sucks." "Yeah." He takes a bite, then looks up at me. "Do you think I can still play soccer next season? Like, if I get a part-time job and help pay?" I look at this kid, this almost man who has my heart even if we don't share a drop of blood. "If you're willing to put in the work," I say, "and if you can talk to me, your mom, and with respect, I'm willing to meet you halfway." But the respect, Josh, that's not negotiable. You don't have to call me dad. You don't even have to like me every day, but you will not talk to me like I'm nobody. Not in my home, not if you want me in your corner. He nods, eyes down. Okay. It's not a movie moment, but it's real. It's a crack in the wall. I'll take it. Emma, meanwhile, goes full spine of steel on Mark. At a school event a few weeks later, he corners her by the parking lot. I'm only half listening when his voice starts to rise. "You made me look like a deadbeat," he snarls, "dragging lawyers into this, making me pay more, turning the kids against me." She cuts him off, and her voice is loud enough that a few other parents nearby stop walking. "You did that. You sent those messages telling them to disrespect my husband. You wanted them to hate him. You wanted them to hate the one stable thing in this house because you couldn't stand the idea of another man actually fathering your kids." He splutters. "You're delusional." She just laughs, sharp and cold. "No, I'm awake, and I'm done letting you ruin everything because your ego can't handle that you lost me, and I found someone better. You don't get to destroy my marriage through our kids anymore." Later, she tells me about it, and for the first time in months, I see something lighter in her face. Like She stopped apologizing inside for choosing me. Lily takes longer, she stays cold, stubborn. Her phone stays off for 3 weeks. She spends more time at her dad's than at home, but even she can't outrun reality forever. One night, she comes back halfway through a weekend visit, dragging a duffel bag, eyes puffy and red. Emma is on the couch reading. I'm in the kitchen, pretending not to eavesdrop. "Hey, baby," Emma says gently. "Everything okay?" Lily drops the bag and just says it. "He told us to make you choose." Emma blinks. "What?" "He told us," Lily says, words stumbling now, "that if we made things hard enough with James, you'd eventually get tired and break up with him. That you'd choose us over him. That we were supposed to make him feel so unwelcome that he'd leave." Emma closes her eyes for a second, pain flickering across her face. "He said that to you?" She nods, tears spilling now. "He said James was stealing you. That if we didn't push back, we'd lose our real family. But Mom, he doesn't do anything. He just says stuff. James actually does things. James was there when I had the flu last month. James drove me to the orthodontist 4 times. Dad didn't even remember my birthday until 3 days after." Emma pulls her in, wrapping her arms tight. "I'm so sorry he put that on you," she whispers. "You should never have been in the middle of that. That was his anger, not your job." I stay where I am, letting them have that moment, my hands in soapy water, eyes burning. I don't rush in. I don't deliver a monologue. Sometimes being a parent is knowing when the scene isn't about you, even if your whole life led up to it. Later, after Emma gets Lily settled in her room, Lily finds me in the garage. I'm organizing some tools, not because they need it, but because I need something to do with my hands. She hovers by the doorway. "James?" "Yeah?" She twists the hem of her hoodie. "I'm sorry I said you're just Mom's husband, that you can't make rules. That was really messed up." I put down the wrench I'm holding and turn to face her. "Thank you for saying that. That took guts." She looks up, eyes still red. "Are you still mad?" "Yes," I say honestly, "but not at you the way you think. I'm mad at him for putting you in that position. I'm mad at myself for not protecting you from it sooner. But I'm not mad at you for being a kid who believed her father." Her shoulders sag in relief. "Do you still not want to help with stuff?" "I'm still not paying his share," I say. "That's between him and your mom. But you? You're not a bill, Lily. You're a person. If you meet me with respect, I will always show up for you however I can." She steps forward and awkwardly hugs me. It's brief. It's tight. It's everything. "So, did I get revenge? I didn't slash tires. I didn't dump anyone's stuff on the lawn. I didn't scream or throw things or send a mass email blasting him to every contact he has. What I did was worse if you're a person like Mark. I took away his favorite shield. I stopped letting him use me as the invisible wallet in the background while he played fun dad and whispered poison. I gave him the responsibility he claimed I had no right to enforce. The actual responsibilities of being a parent. Show up, pay up, and stop trashing the people who are doing the job you walked away from. I itemized 7 years of bills, expenses, and sacrifices and laid them at his feet, not to get reimbursed, but to expose the gap between what he said and what he actually did. I drew a line and said, "If you want authority, it comes with accountability. If you want to trash me, you don't get to do it on my dime." And Emma? She chose me, not instead of her kids, but alongside them. She chose a family where the person doing the work gets a voice, where loyalty isn't measured by DNA, but by who's in the car at 6 a.m. and who's in the stands in the rain. It wasn't clean. It wasn't painless. The kids still see their father. We're not trying to erase him, but the power dynamic shifted. He doesn't get to poison the well anymore without consequences. A few months later, I'm at Josh's soccer game. It's a cold Saturday morning, the kind where your breath makes clouds and the bleachers are freezing. Josh scores off a corner kick, a beautiful header into the top right corner. The whole team rushes him, and when the chaos settles, He doesn't look to the sideline where Mark is, late as usual, holding a coffee and barely paying attention. He looks at me, grins, pumps his fist. After the game, when we're walking to the car, Lily slides into the back seat and automatically buckles up. "Can we get breakfast?" she asks. "Sure," I say. "Can I get the French toast?" I glance at her in the rearview mirror. "It's like $12. She grins a little. "I'll pay you back for my allowance?" I laugh. "How about we split it?" "Deal," she says. And just like that, we're a family again. Not perfect, not without scars, but real. So that's my story. My stepchildren said I needed their father's permission to set rules. So I gave him the rules instead. Itemized bills, overdue fees, and transfer of responsibility forms. He wasn't ready. Now I want to know what you think. Was I wrong for pulling my financial support back and forcing their dad to step up? Should I have just kept my head down and kept paying for everything for the kids' sake, even while being disrespected? Or was this the only way to show them, and him, the truth about who was really doing the parenting? Drop your verdict in the comments. Tell me what you would have done in my shoes, especially if you've ever been a step-parent or caught in the middle of a blended family power struggle. I read everything, and I'm genuinely curious where you stand on this one. And if you enjoyed the story, please subscribe and like the video. It really helps the channel grow and lets us bring you more wild Reddit stories like this one. Thanks for watching.